Hello. Okay, so I'm going to try to make a tutorial here about passenger operations in Train Life, a railway simulator. If you're watching this, you're probably either new to the game or have been playing it for a while and decided to try your hand with passenger ops. But it's confusing. It's exactly where I was a couple weeks ago. I couldn't make heads or tails out of it. It didn't make any sense to me at all. Now, there are already a couple of tutorials out there about this, but in my opinion, they're a bit lacking. There's a lot they don't explain very well. They left a lot of questions, so I decided to make my own. Once I figured out how it works, I'm going to go through this step by step from the very beginning. Everything you need to know about running passenger operations. The process that I'm going to show you here, this is just how I've figured out how to do it. It seems to me to be the most efficient way of doing it. Once you've learned this and once you start doing it for a while, you might learn something that works fine for you. That's, by all means, go right ahead and do that. But this works for me. So let's go ahead and get into it. We'll start a new game. Player name, we'll call it tutorial. I could spell tutorial. Pete. Nationality, we'll leave it for Germany. Age, avatar, we'll change it to a male avatar. Company name, tutorial rail. Company colors, we won't worry about any of that stuff. Starting location, we'll leave it. Career options, default. We are, however, going to turn off the tutorial. Now, the tutorial built into Train Life is quite good. It's very thorough. It'll teach you everything you need to know, including a little bit about passenger operations, but honestly not enough. So, game should load pretty quick. This game isn't really resource heavy. It loads pretty fast. Okay, we're in our train. We are just outside the session. Please forgive me if I mispronounce that. Warehouse. Okay. Every time you start a new game, whichever city you start in, you'll start right outside the warehouse for that city. You may have noticed right as the game started, a little warning popped up in the right corner saying I didn't have permission or something along those lines. And you can tell by that red light right there that we are not authorized to enter the session warehouse. So the first thing we'll need to do is get permission. We'll hit A to bring up the radio. Number 1 is for the session warehouse. We'll hit that.
Station operator here. What can we do for you?
And that guy, who apparently is in every city across the continent, we want to request access.
We're prepared to receive you and have marked tracks for your arrival.
All right, we're all set for that. Okay, now, before we go much further, let's turn off the radio, and we're going to go into the map. We are currently here at the session warehouse, right? We need to decide where we want to travel to. I think for this tutorial, what I feel works probably the best is we're going to go from session to Berlin to Hanover. So, if we scroll into main, by the way, the main terminal is always the only terminal that has passengers. If you're doing passenger operations, it always is the main terminal you need to go to. So we want to check for Berlin and Hanover. So we're going to go to right-click on main. And Berlin is right there. They've got 14 people waiting. And if you go to Hanover, Hanover has 14 people waiting as well. It's important to check this. Usually there's people wanting to go to every city, but sometimes there isn't. There was a chance that nobody wanted to go to Hanover. Also, you'll notice that session where we're at is not even on the list. And why does my music start? Turn off. Sorry about that. Okay. Anyway, you'll notice session is not on the list because This page is all about the people who are at session that want to go to other cities. That's why it's not here. Go back to the map. Okay, so we have people that want to go to both those places. So the first thing we're going to want to do is left click on session main, because that's where we're picking people up. Left click on Berlin main, and left click on Hanover main. Now you could literally set up a course that goes all over Europe if you want to. For this tutorial, we're just going to hit 2 cities. Now, before we go any farther, a couple things you'll want to notice. First off, if you go right click at main, you'll see that Berlin and Hanover, it now says ready to pick up. Because now you have a route. These people know that you'll take them there. Also, we could wait until we get to session main to go into the service center, to get the train turnaround and get the cars and all that nonsense. We're not going to do that because if you'll notice, our entire path is basically westbound. We're facing east, so let's just take care of it now. The map has already given us our first destination is the service center here at the warehouse. That's where we're going to go prepare for this trip. Okay, now also you'll notice that above the map it says session main. If we hit the period button, it goes to the drop-off track, goes back to session main, drop-off track, back and forth. We want to leave it at main because main here is talking about where we're picking up passengers, but this path takes us to the warehouse service center. Also, below the map, you'll see that the left is lit up red. If you hit Q, it goes to right. We want to take that right. We want to keep going to the right to get to the service center. Hit spacebar to turn off the emergency brake. Hit the horn a couple times. Let people know that we're moving. Turn on the headlights, 2 clicks using Y to bring it up to high beams. Just leave them on high beams all the time. And we'll start giving a little bit of gas. We'll start traveling over to the warehouse, or the service center, I'm sorry. Want to keep an eye on the map. Make sure that it keeps saying to the right. And like I said earlier, the tutorial will teach everything you need to know about these oddly blue lights instead of green, how to tracks all that stuff. So don't worry about that. By the time you get to this, you'll already know that. Alright, I'm just going to turn off the gas. I'm coasting right now. We're so close to the service center, I'm going to have to stop real soon. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and start giving it just a little bit of brake. You notice in front of the service center there's that green arrow. There's also green tracks. When you're on those green tracks, that's when it'll give you the option to go into the service center. Let's slow down a little bit more. Okay. We're at a full stop. It's giving me the option to enter the service center, so I'll turn on emergency brakes, which isn't really necessary for the service center, but I do it anyway, and hit F. Okay, so let's go through this right off the bat. The first thing lit up is fix. Brand new game, I don't need to repair anything. Fuel, I shouldn't have to. I'm at 99% fuel. I'm going to do it anyway because I'm OCD about this kind of stuff. Game mode. It should be already lit up as passenger postage. Click select mode, and this will pop up passenger postage. Adding wagons. Now, I'm not going to worry about postage right now. Postage is exactly the same as passenger, something else that you do in addition to, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to go over here to add passenger wagons. Add wagon. Now, I only have 44 people that want to go total. I only really need 1, maybe 2 trains. I always add 4. I don't know why. I just do. So now I've got 4 wagons. I don't need to manage locomotives, buy them. upgrade them, any of that stuff, customization. I don't need to do any of that stuff. I need to go down here to utilities. Reverse train is lit up, hit reverse. Now I'm pointing the right direction for my entire path. And then back to game. Okay, alright, we are ready to go. If I hit C a couple times, it'll take us to external views. There's my wagon, my passenger trains are attached. Hit C again, you can actually look inside the windows. Okay. Now, before we go any farther, we'll look at the map. It already has me ready to go to Session Main, Berlin Main, all that stuff. I'm on the right direction. All those things are good to go. Okay. And the path is already set. If we go to company, go to my train, passenger limit 200, because I have 4 wagons. I don't currently have anybody on board. Alright, so turn off brakes, turn off emergency brakes, sound the horn a couple times, start going, start traveling. Okay, now while I'm building speed, an important step is I want to open up the communications radio board again. And I want to go to number 2, Session Main, because I'm going right there and it's close.
Hello, this is the operator. Is there something you need?
Request access.
We're prepared to receive you and have marked tracks for your arrival.
Turn off the radio. Now I'm just going to keep an eye on my map, my tracks, lights, that kind of thing. Slowly build up speed. It's only at 50 right now. It's going to go up to 80 real fast. And with default settings, you can go up to 15 miles an hour over the speed limit before you get a ticket. So we'll just let the speed build, not worry about it a whole lot. I kind of like the fact that you don't have to keep it below the speed limit 100%. Some train sims, you really do have to keep it below the speed limit, or they fine you pretty heavy. Okay, so speed is building. I'm gonna head through. We still need to stay to the right track. We're already at 98% fuel. Just let speed build. Alright, so we already have permission to go to Session Main. And we're close enough that if we hit the period button, it goes to postage loading and unloading track. That should say passenger and postage loading and unloading track. Alright, speed limit's going to drop to 60 here real fast. So I'm going to start to coast. Give it just a touch of gas, brake. Bridge. That's why not. That's why I play train games. Okay. Turn off the brake and just let it coast. We're already set up. We've already gotten permission to get into Session Main. We're already set up for the passenger track. We're already pointing the right direction. Everything's good. Down to 50, as you can see, we're a little bit over, but again, don't worry about it. We're only a couple over. They're not going to give us a fine or anything. We need to watch the left-right here. Make sure it's sending us to the right place. Start slowing down. There's a passenger terminal. You don't have to worry about where you stop when you're boarding passengers. As long as you're past that orange chevron and you're near the terminal, when you finally come to a stop, this is what will happen. It'll automatically move you all the way down to the end of the platform. So now that I'm here, my emergency brake is on. I'm going to turn off the regular brake. I'm going to hit F to open the doors. While the doors and passenger operations are going on, you can't do anything with your train. You just have to wait. All right, close the doors. Emergency brake off. After I hit the horn a couple times, and let's get going. If people want to get where they're going, hit tab again. Now that we have people on board, company, my train, it shows we have 43 people on board. 22 and 21. We have 5 hours and 59 minutes to get to Berlin and 11 hours to get to Hanover. Plenty of time. So let's start building up our speed, start heading. You'll notice on the map it already shows Berlin, Maine is 18 kilometers away. Alright. Speed limit's gone up to 80, so let's start slowly building speed. You don't want to accelerate too fast, you'll get wheel slippage. Alright, it's up to 80. Just keep following the path. There's an approaching train coming. Go to coast. I'm gonna watch the lights. They're still blue. That should mean that he's approaching on the other track. Oh, no. It does this sometimes. Now, you'll notice something here. I had to hit the emergency brake, right? But watch this other train. He's on the other track. There was no reason for me to get an emergency light here. See, look at that. I could have just kept on going. Turn off the brake. I had to stop because it would have fined me for the red lights anyway. But my point was I shouldn't have gotten a red light. So start building speed back up. Speed limit is going to be 120 here real soon. This particular train can only go about 100, so I'm just going to bring it up to full speed. Not worry about it too much. Let's check the map. Okay, now you notice as we come around these bends, we're going to be going by the Session Refinery. But the route takes us outside of the refinery. So we do not have to worry about asking permission to access this refinery. We're just going to drive right on by it, not even without a peep. Okay, don't have to worry about that. These curves are going to lower our speed limit a little bit, but then we should be able to get back up to speed again. It'll take a little while. This is a beginner train. Also, you'll notice that it still says train approaching. Well, we've already passed that train, and he's 1,500 meters behind us. So once it goes by, just ignore it. The sign stays, the little notification stays up for a long time. All right, so the speed limit's 120. The next one's about to be 120 also. We've got a bit of a curve coming up. I believe it's going to drop soon. Wait and see what happens. Animal crossing. There's an animal coming up ahead of us. Or what I meant was coming up ahead. There may be an animal on the track. I don't see it yet. Pretty countryside. Looks very much like Oregon. By the way, if you look at the passenger cars now, you may be able to see that there are some people on board. Okay, still 120. Don't have to worry about my speed. It's going to have me go left here soon to avoid the refinery. Okay. Once we get past this, it'll pop up to go left, and you'll see why here in just a second. Where the rail splits, if you go to the right, that's when you would go to the refinery, but I'm just going to skip it, and you'll notice I didn't have to ask for permission. Go back to the right to stay on the right track. The curves coming up ahead, you can see them on the map. Those curves are pretty sharp. I believe the speed limit's going to drop down to 80 for those curves. We'll just wait and see. There's your refinery. You can see it burning off in the distance. Oh, okay. I'll probably cut out the next part. It's just traveling. Boring to watch. If I can figure out how. Once I get this recorded, I'll have to figure out how to cut bits out. Alright. So I'm still too far from Berlin, Maine to ask for permission. Let's see what we got though. Beta A. Berlin Farm. Yeah. Oh, animals on the track. So we're going to just keep on going. Speed limit's about to drop down. So I'm going to turn off the gas. Turn on a little bit of brake. Start laying on the horn. As I get closer to the animal. There's probably a trick to this as in exactly when you should be using the horn for animals. I don't know. As long as that warning is on, they're still on the tracks. Starting to slow down too much. Give it a little bit of gas. Where is he? He's right there. And then there he goes. You get off the tracks. Let's start bringing our speed back up. It's about to come up to 100. Okay, now let's check the map here real quick. You'll notice that pretty soon there's going to be an intersection here. We're going to want to make sure we stay headed towards Berlin. About to hop back up to 100. Okay, we're on our way to Berlin. Berlin. All right. Just watch for warnings. Check out the countryside. Kind of bummed we haven't had any weather yet. The weather in this game, the rain and stuff, is pretty good. Looks pretty good. Alright, let's check the radio again. Berlin, Maine is not yet available. Drop it down to 0. Coming up to a 90-mile-an-hour turn. Not going to worry about it a whole lot, like I said. Don't want to lose too much speed, though. Oop, got a little bit of slippage there. Went a little bit too fast. Or accelerated too fast. Going to want to stay to the right to make sure that we don't start headed south. See Berlin off in the distance, that tower. I don't know anything about that tower, I don't even know what it's called, but it's cool looking. Okay. While we're waiting, I'm going to hit tab, accompany my train. We still have 2 hours to get to Berlin. We're on track. We're doing good. As long as we just keep going this way. Is still not on the list. Going the right way. Starting to slow down a little bit too much. Only 4 kilometers away, we should be able to... Oh, here we go. You'll notice number 5 says, oh, just popped up. Number 4?
This is the station operator. How can I help you?
Quest access.
You've been given clearance. Proceed to entry.
Hit A to turn it off. Uh-oh. Broken down train ahead. Let's turn off things. So we're going to have to swap rails as soon as it lets us. Yep, you want to go left. Avoid the train. Now, while we're doing that, we're going to hit the period button to go to the postage loading and unloading, just like we did before. See, we're avoiding that alarm, that red signal, and then as soon as we get past that train, we'll need to go to... That train should be right about here. We'll need to swap over to the other track. I'm starting to lose too much speed because of this. Alright. We still have 2 blue signals. There's that train, so we can ignore him. We're just going to pass him. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and swap over to the right now, so that as soon as we're past, we'll take the first cross, which is coming right up. Okay. It says 80, but we're getting really close to the terminal, so I'm just going to coast. Well ahead of schedule. No rush. Actually, we do have quite a ways to the terminal. Actually, it's 1:18 in the afternoon. Okay. All right. All I've got to do now is watch these left, right. Stick with it. Start slowing down a little bit because we're coming up to the terminal. Okay. Coming. Start slowing down. A little bit of movement at the end of the track. The hell, did I stop too soon? What happened? It's odd. I guess that wasn't the orange chevron I needed. Apparently the one up ahead of me is. Oh, it's probably because they have two loading tracks, one right in front of the other. I didn't realize that. Okay. All right. That was weird. All right, so open the doors. Those ones that were on here that were going there are departing. More people getting on that are going to Hanover. Close doors. While it's closing, if I go here to company, my train, look at this. Now I've got the original 21 going to Hanover, but another 26. Station to Berlin, Maine. 16,373 XP. And okay. Hit Q to go to the right. Turn off the emergency brake. Start getting power going. And rinse, repeat, continue. It's going to be the exact same thing as far as you want to go. That's basically step by step how to do passenger operations and train life. I hope it works for you. If you have any questions, of course, please post them in the comments. And enjoy.